Is highest to lowest the title of the movie, or is it just the description of my opinion of this movie as the movie kept going? Let's get into this review. Welcome back to the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams. Today I've got a spoiler-free review for Spike Lee's Highest to Lowest. This is the 5th collaboration Spike Lee has done with Denzel Washington, and I love watching these two work. Sometimes. Again, let me know your thoughts, feelings, opinions. These are all going to be my opinions, the way I interpret movies. I'm going to be probably kind of negative, or a lot negative on this movie. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below. Am I seeing things wrong? Am I not quite nailing the exact, artistic style that Spike Lee's going with? There's a possibility, but let me know if there's anything that you feel like I overlooked, I missed, or I just might not be accurate on. Let me know that down below in the comments. Feel free to enlighten me and other people. It's perfectly fine. I want to see your opinion on that as well. Anyways, while you're down there, like and subscribe, YouTube things. Let's start off with the good. I want to be some positive up front about this. Denzel Washington's in this movie. Anything Denzel Washington in is usually generally fantastic. I love seeing him pop up. And especially, like I said, this is the 5th collaboration with Spike Lee. They have a really good working, the way they work off of each other. The thing I like with Denzel's characters, though, is the ones that he typically plays that I like a lot are usually the ones where he's not the coach from Remember the Titans. Almost forgot the title of that. And he's not so much the coach or the sage or the all-knowing person who's offering advice and direction in people's lives. I like him more when he's more of a nitty-gritty character like Training Day or even the drunk pilot in Flight. I think he has a lot more fun, I feel like, in those roles, and therefore I have a lot more fun watching him have that fun with those characters. He's not completely bad or mean or evil in this movie. There's some things in here where he does get down to the nitty gritty. He gets into some gangsta stuff in this, and it's fun hearing him talk like that, to have that kind of a personality in this movie, especially when he switches off from being the businessman that he is to how he talks to ASAP Rocky's character in this movie, and just there's a huge shift between how you address people. I work in sales. I understand that can happen a lot in the real world environment as well. I just love seeing Denzel Washington do it. No one's watching me shift my personality between talking to a camera, talking to my brother about random things here at home, and then me talking to a customer trying to get him to sign up for whatever it is I'm selling. No one wants to watch that, although it is probably highly intriguing. The other one that I really like in this was Jeffrey Wright. Jeffrey Wright's character, while he is kind of a side character, there are moments in this movie that push him and his feelings and his emotions into the spotlight, and I like seeing that from him. He's gotten really good dramatic roles, and it just really shows off his dramatic acting ability, and I love it from him. It's just the rest of the script and everything. Yeah, I'll get into that here in a little bit. The other thing that is really positive to me is the cinematography. Again, Spike Lee absolutely loves New York, and this is he's one of those directors, when he makes a movie specifically in New York, it's one of those that is definitely a stereotypical New York is a character in this movie. Spike Lee is known for making New York a character in his movie. You go look at Do the Right Thing, which I'm probably going to reference a lot in this. Yes, it's just one small block in Brooklyn, but that block has life. It has blood running through it. The way that it's set up, with the heightened saturation of colors, all of that just is used to bring life and invigorate this, just a normal place. So we have, not only are we knowing that we're in New York, we feel New York, we can smell New York, you can hear it, you can taste it, and that's what Spike Lee delivers in his movies, and he's damn good at doing that as well. The other things from this, like, while we're talking about Spike Lee, a lot of the director trademarks are also prevalent in this movie. Like, you get a lot of his, like, the dolly shot. You got the dolly shots in this, the characters talking to the camera, breaking the fourth wall. And then, like, all these other like heightened reality, like a lot of times it's like musical numbers. There's definitely a couple of musical numbers in this, as there's a Puerto Rican block party, and also like the fact that Denzel Washington's character is a music producer. People are trying to get his attention so they can audition for him, and hopefully he'll give them their big break. So there are musical numbers also in this movie of people trying to show off their singing skills, like it's American Idol or something. So you've got all of those that are still just trademarks of Spike Lee that you see in a lot of Spike Lee movies. The only other one, as far as cinematography, that I really liked in this is the scene where the money is being exchanged from the ransom is being handed off to the kidnapper in this. That whole sequence was really interesting, had me on the edge of my seat. There's a few things that are complicated in the editing, and again, I'll get to editing here in a little bit, but otherwise, I feel like that was like a fun, like, just balls to the wall scene. Now I want to talk about the negative, the bad stuff about this movie. The writing, right off the bat, is the writing in this movie. This is Alan Fox's first screenplay that he wrote. And I feel like you can kind of feel that there's some like roughness to this, and I don't. Again, this is where I was talking about at the beginning of this video. If there's something I don't see, I'm not understanding, like artistic license with this. There's some parts in this movie where the screenplay really could have used a couple of passes. I don't know if they storyboarded this to see like how everything would fit, but there's scenes of dialogue that just do not mesh with what needs to actually be said and done to push the story forward. That does a lot more telling than showing. The best example I could have for this, and where it really just stood out for me, is the first time that the kidnapper is calling Denzel Washington's character, David King. He's calling him to say, like, hey, I kidnapped your son, here's my demands. When he calls him, we're seeing Denzel just sitting on his balcony at his apartment on the phone. We don't hear the other end of the phone call. We hear like Denzel Washington's character like, yeah, okay, sure, uh-huh. Like, we don't hear what ASAP Rocky is saying on the other side of that phone call. And I feel like that throws it off. That's like, they have that phone call, and then Denzel character comes in, he's like, well, Trey's been kidnapped. Like, I needed to hear like the details of that. We needed to have like more of, besides it just being a phone call that you could just like, oh, we don't have to shoot this. We'll just do a phone call. Don't worry about the voiceover, and we'll just have David King come back to his family and just tell them all that his son Trey's been kidnapped. Like, it just feels so out of place. And then there's the other thing with like characters that have unusual dialogue. Again, Spike Lee's known for having heightened reality, but there's parts of this that you still need to be able to make a movie. Like, we get if a musical number breaks out in the movie. We're watching a movie, and especially you're watching a Spike Lee movie, you know that that's very much in the realm of possibility, so your mind's kind of already there to begin with when you go into it. But when you watch a movie, you expect certain things, like dialogue. People say something, they accept what people are saying, that you have transitions that we're showing this, that, and the other to establish where we're at. Those called establishing shots. Like, you expect certain movie-making techniques, and they're not here. And I feel like that was kind of weird. And, like, especially with the writing of this, the way that people are talking. One that, like, really caught me is Denzel Washington. He may be in his office, like, talking to someone on the other side of the desk, and then they leave, and he sits there and he talks to himself, which is typically fine. I generally talk to myself a lot. I'm technically kind of sort of talking to myself right now, in that you're not watching this until probably the day after I'm doing this right now. So for all intents and purposes, I'm talking to myself. But when I do it, like I still like in my head, there's still a logical connection between what I'm saying to myself and like what is it pertaining to? What am I thinking about? What scenarios am I re-envisioning in my mind? These are things that he's saying to himself that doesn't make sense for a person to be saying to themselves. It just comes off as weird or awkward, or like, again, I feel like someone just should have done another pass through the script to kind of like clean up these edges. And like, I don't know why we necessarily have to have this weird like one-off dialogue. It's usually, a lot of times it's Denzel Washington, but there are other characters that do it, especially was it Dean Winters, his character as the detective. He does it a lot as well, so it feels really weird. And then the other negative thing with this is the pacing and the editing for this. These kind of go like hand in hand. That the editing is what I feel like is responsible for a lot of the pacing, the tone of the movie, how it goes. This movie is all over the place tonally, like completely. We're supposed to be watching a crime thriller, but then we're sitting here in the weeds about the business buyouts and everything. And like, first of all, I do want to set up, I understand that this movie is it's a reinterpretation of Akira Kurosawa's film High and Low, which in of itself is also based off of the book King's Ransom by Evan Hunter. So I get that we're trying to emulate something that's already come before, but I still expect, like I was saying earlier, I expect it to feel like a movie. I heard that this is a crime thriller, so I'm expecting something along the lines of like Ransom, or even better, Inside Man, which was also directed by Spike Lee. I expect that kind of a movie. Inside Man felt like a movie. This kind of feels, at some points it really does feel like a stage production, which can be okay. That reminds me of Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing also felt very much like a stage production for me. Again, it takes place in like this little like block in Brooklyn. The oversaturation of colors and everything, it just kind of made me feel like, it almost felt like it was on a set, like a backlot set, instead of a real like New York, Brooklyn block, a real neighborhood. It reminded me more of like Sesame Street, the whole set that Sesame Street has set up. That's what Do the Right Thing felt like to me. This did feel more like we're not on a set. It did feel like we're in New York, but it uses the way the lighting and the blocking, how the characters move within these scenes. It didn't feel natural to me up until the part where with the money exchange scene. A lot of the rest of this movie just feels very like on a stage. We're watching this scene and then we cut to the next scene and the backdrop and everything moves, curtains close, reset everything, reopen back up again. And that's what I feel like we got. And again, it kind of makes sense because a lot of times that is how Spike Lee chooses to shoot movies. You can see this also by like a lot of times when you're at the credits, the cast list at the end will actually be referred to as the players. That's something that's generally done in theater, that we refer to the cast as the players. So like I understand we're getting that theatrical, that Broadway production type of theater feel and vibe to it, but it feels really weird in a movie like this. It was fine in Do the Right Thing, but it feels awkward in this, where you're needing that pacing and that tone and the look and the feel to be what you're expecting from a crime thriller. And then, like, even in that, you get weird things like the casting in the opening credits. They even like list out the cameos. For example, not really a spoiler at all, but this is Ice Spice, rapper Ice Spice. This is her acting debut. She's in the cast list at the very beginning of the movie. She's in one scene. Her character says, "Hi, my name's whatever her name is," and she's a wannabe singer who is trying to appeal to David King and get signed by his company. So she's like, "Hi, my name's so-and-so." And he's like, "Hey, I've heard of you. Look forward to working with you." And then that's it. We don't see Ice Spice for the rest of the movie. That's all she does. Completely pointless. The whole reason that she's in there is for people to go, "Oh, look, Ice Spice." Cool. Moving on. So, and then, yeah, speaking of music, the music of this movie, the score, at least for the first 2/3 of this movie, it just sounds like an after-school special, and it is so wildly off from the tone, the vibe, the mood. Like, we're talking about like this crime, like the kid being kidnapped, and we're playing music like they just found the kid like OD'd behind the school with like needles on the ground, and is this kid gonna survive? Can we turn this kid's life around? How do we reach these kids? Like, we get all of that in the music, and it just does not fit the tone of what we're hearing, of what we're listening to with the dialogue. It's so wildly off that it took me completely out multiple times. Yeah, there's some funny things in here. Again, Spike Lee, his love of New York, you can see all of his trash talking to like sports. He definitely does not like the Boston Red Sox. So there's some like fun, like little bits of levity in it, but overall, man, this movie it felt so wildly all over the place instead of just what you're expecting from a good crime thriller, like drama. It just did not feel like that to me. Again, I was hoping for like Ransom or Inside Man, something like that. John Q, which is another good, like, kind of a crime thriller where it's Denzel Washington, his son needs like a heart transplant or liver transplant or something like that, so he holds a hospital hostage because they're not going to operate it on his son until he has like $100,000. Like, let's just cough that up right now. So like, that is a good movie. Like, I recommend all of those. This one I was hoping was going to fit within that same realm of crime drama for me, and it just didn't. It's so wildly off. Again, had some good players, had some great director, great cast, a lot of great in this movie that I feel like just falls flat for me. So, unfortunately, I don't know, I'm probably not going to be interested in watching this again. Again, is there something about this movie? Have you gone to see it, and did you see something different than what I'm talking about here? Let me know down below in the comments. Maybe if there's like something that I'm just like completely off my game talking about movies, maybe there's something you could point out to me, and I'll be like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Let me go back and watch this again. So, please let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below. While you're down there, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Come follow us on social media. We are at The Cinefanatics on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow me personally at RCA Reacts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, also youtube.com/@RCA Reacts. I will be going to Fantastic Fest here in Austin, Texas this year. I'm actually going as press, so I get the fun times of being able to interview and talk to like celebrities and probably get some like behind the scenes stuff. It will be really interesting, so make sure you come subscribe, see what all stuff I can cook up with that. So otherwise, thank you for watching this video. We appreciate each and every single one of your views. We hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.